It's halfway of 2023, and it's the perfect time to start thinking about adopting new money habits that can help you achieve your financial goals. In this video, we'll be discussing the top 5 money habits to adopt in 2023. 1. Track your spending. One of the most important money habits to adopt in 2023 is to track your spending. Tracking your spending allows you to see where your money is going and helps you identify areas where you can cut back. This habit can be as simple as keeping a notebook with you to write down your expenses, or you can use a budgeting app to track your spending automatically. By knowing exactly where your money is going, you can make better financial decisions and ensure that you're not overspending in any particular area. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Tracking my spending? That sounds like a pain. But trust me, it's not as difficult as it sounds, and it can actually be kind of fun. Plus, it's one of the most effective ways to get a handle on your finances and start making progress towards your financial goals. So how do you track your spending? Well, there are a few different approaches you can take. One of the simplest ways is to just carry a small notebook with you and write down everything you spend money on throughout the day. Or, if you prefer a digital approach, there are tons of budgeting apps out there that make it easy to track your spending on your phone or computer. Personally, I use an app called Mint to track my spending, and I love it. It's super user-friendly and automatically categorizes your transactions, so you can see exactly where your money is going each month. Plus, it sends me notifications when I've overspent in a certain category, which helps me stay on track and avoid overspending. But why bother tracking your spending in the first place? Well, for starters, it helps you identify areas where you might be overspending or wasting money. Maybe you're spending more than you realize on coffee or eating out, for example. By tracking your spending, you can see these patterns and make adjustments accordingly. Tracking your spending can also help you create a budget that actually works for you. Once you know where your money is going, you can set realistic goals for how much you want to spend in each category each month. And by sticking to your budget, you can start to make progress towards your financial goals, whether that's paying off debt, saving for a down payment on a house, or investing for the future. So, there you have it. Tracking your spending might not be the most exciting thing in the world, but it's an incredibly valuable money habit to adopt in 2023. Give it a try for a few weeks and see how it feels. You might be surprised at how much it helps you get a handle on your finances and start making progress towards your goals.
Having disorganized finances is basically another way of keeping your head in the sand. If you have credit cards open everywhere, student loans that you don't really know the balance for, and you're not really sure what you're spending every month, then it's really time to consolidate. So there's a lot of really awesome apps out there that make it super easy to track all your financial stuff. For example, I used to use Mint and I really liked it. You can connect your bank accounts and your credit cards and they'll look at your spending and your income and tell you what your spending looks like every month. And you can also put in all your accounts and look at your net worth and how it changes over time.
2. Build an emergency fund. Another important money habit to adopt in 2023 is to build an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a savings account that you can use to cover unexpected expenses, such as a medical emergency, car repair, or job loss. Financial experts recommend that you have at least 6 months' worth of living expenses saved in your emergency fund. This may seem like a lot, but by starting to save now, you can gradually build up your emergency fund over time. Automating your savings might sound boring, but trust me, it's one of the easiest and most effective ways to save money. And the best part? Once you set it up, you don't even have to think about it. Here's how it works. First, figure out how much you want to save each month. This could be a fixed amount, like $100, or a percentage of your income, like 10%. Next, set up a recurring transfer from your checking account to a savings account for that amount. You can usually do this through your bank's online banking portal, or by calling their customer service line. And that's it. Each month, your designated amount will automatically be transferred from your checking account to your savings account. You can sit back and watch your savings grow without having to do anything extra. Now you might be thinking, but what if I can't afford to save that much each month? That's okay. Even small amounts can add up over time. The important thing is to start somewhere and be consistent. And if you do find yourself with extra money one month, consider putting that towards your savings as well. Automating your savings is also a great way to build an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a savings account that you set aside specifically for unexpected expenses, like car repairs or medical bills. It's recommended to have 6 months' worth of living expenses saved up in your emergency fund So automating your savings can help you reach that goal faster. So there you have it. Automating your savings might not be the most exciting thing in the world, but it's an incredibly effective way to save money without having to think about it. Give it a try and see how much you can save.
The thing to remember mainly about an emergency fund is this. On $10,000, 1% is $100. 0.5% is $50. Who cares? It's not the purpose of your emergency fund. Now, if you could get 11% instead of 1%, we'd have something to talk about. But we're talking about $50. So go get the $50. You hand me $50, I'll take it, okay? But it's not going to change your life. And the point of me bringing that up is your emergency fund is not an investment. Everybody say it with me, not an investment. Your emergency fund is insurance. You know what insurance does? It costs you money. It doesn't make you money. Why do you buy insurance if it costs you money? Because it covers your butt when things go bad. That's why you buy insurance. It's what your emergency fund is for. It covers your butt when things go bad. It's not there to make you rich. It's there to protect other things that will make you rich. Because if you have a 401k and you don't have an emergency fund and you get laid off from your job, you know what you'll do to pay your house payment and feed your kids? You'll cash out your 401k. And they'll hit you for a 10% interest or 10% penalty plus your tax rate. So you'll get a 35 or a 45% hit.
3. Create a debt repayment plan. If you have any debt, whether it's credit card debt, student loans, or a mortgage, it's important to have a debt repayment plan in place. This means that you have a strategy for paying off your debt as quickly as possible. Start by prioritizing high-interest debt first, such as credit card debt, and make extra payments whenever possible. Consider consolidating your debt or refinancing to lower your interest rate, which can save you money in the long run. Prioritizing debt repayment might not sound like the most fun way to spend your money, but it's actually a really important habit to adopt if you want to improve your financial situation. Here's the deal. When you have high-interest debt, like credit card balances or a car loan, you're essentially throwing money away on interest charges each month. So by focusing on paying off that debt as quickly as possible, you'll not only save money in the long run, but you'll also free up more cash for other things, like saving or investing.
And so when you start a debt payoff journey, you need to create, I call it, a plan of attack for your debt. A step-by-step system that you can follow to ensure that you get out of debt in the fastest and smartest way. So there's a snowball method and there's the avalanche method. And I get a lot of questions on my Instagram, which one do I use? And is there one that I should use over the other? So let me kind of explain the difference. The avalanche method is paying off your debt with the highest interest rate first. And you do that because it's going to save you the most in interest payments throughout the life of your debt. If you use the snowball method, you're paying off your debt by the smallest balance first. And so I get the question, well, which one do I use? And I always have to say it really depends on you. So for me, on my debt payoff journey, I started with the snowball method because I wanted to see progress fairly early on in my journey. Of course, when you're tackling the smallest balance first, you're gonna see that progress pretty early on in your journey. With the avalanche method, after I used the snowball method and I got rid of some of my smaller credit card balances first, then I switched to the avalanche method because seeing how much I was spending in interest every single month versus what was going to the principal of my debt, it made me furious. And a lot of people don't take the time to sit down and really figure out how much exactly is going to interest when you're paying off your debt, but it can add up. So I'm a numbers person, and saving money on those interest payments became my priority, and so I chose the avalanche method. So it depends on what is going to make you feel better. What are you going to feel? What feels right to you? So is it are you motivated by seeing progress early on in your journey, or are you motivated by saving money on the interest payments? And that's going to determine what method you're going to use. But as far as starting your overall debt payoff journey, it can get kind of overwhelming with, where do you even begin? And so with the debt payoff journey, you make your minimum payments on all of your debts, but then you throw anything extra that you have, any extra income that you have, towards one debt at a time. You tackle one debt at a time. And which debt you tackle in your line of priority is dependent upon which method you're using.